Right? We're back? We're back. I should send out the chat signal for the people who were curious to see me beat the game. Whoa. There's an echo in here. My phone. Alright. So. We pretty much did every quest. Track down the wailing creature in the slab and slay it. He gaming. Oh shit, we're gaming. Oh shit, we're gaming. I hope all is well with you, Buster. I think it's better when I send out personalized meme notes. I'm gonna put that in there. We gaming. Oh lord. He gaming. And then my link. I get some of the craziest, most controversial memes from my friends. Instagram. My god, you guys. My brother. My brother. I have the perfect response. It's all about artfully disengaging with the crazy shit. It's like a scale. It's like as I go further down the list from my friends and go towards my family, it's crazier and crazier memes. Until I get to just my uncle who's just saying crazy shit. Not even memes. Damn, 5 views already. You guys are out here. I think we might beat the game right now. We need the double jump. Or the game might have just begun. Bone Bottom or the Bileway? Grand Bellway. Alright. You're not a demigod. You're just dehydrated and need a nap. So, do yourself a favor. Stay hydrated, go grab a snack. That's a meme. I wish I could take credit for that, but that shit's funny as fuck to me. Away we go. You aren't divinely chosen. You're just EP. So, to the Cogwork core, I believe. The quest I planned on skipping is, I'll stop with the whistle thing. The quest I plan on skipping. Oh shit, there's a oh god. Oh god, that's right. Oh fuck me. There's a boss. Alright, let's... Dude, we're never gonna beat this fucking game, dude. We're never gonna beat this game. I'm laughing now, but it's out of fear of how fucking angry I'm about to get. Oh god. You know when you look at the map and you just see the person who beat the shit out of you? You're like, god fucking damn it. I forgot that I had to fight this fucking guy. Okay, so back to Farfields. Oh my fucking god. There's like $400 on the ground right there. I can't leave it. Oh, fuck me, dude. Oh, fuck me. That's why I was at this bench. I'm about to be so fucking upset. It's already beginning. I feel my blood starting to boil as I descend. Also, the snack I've chosen today is apple. So, forgive me for the crunches into the mic. Oh wait, I remember we died. We didn't have any money. At the end of last stream, we lost it all. Oh wait, no, we also bought stuff, didn't we? Okay, maybe it's not as bad. I think I bought the things we needed. I forgot the rest of that bench. This is gonna be such a fucking pain. We have to find a fucking, like, bench somewhere in that zone. I don't want to have to keep going through this. Projectile explosives that deal multiple hearts worth of damage is insane. Not Bellheart, Farfields. My god. The travel back and forth, the problem with the Dark Souls 2 style shortcuts and the reason they went back on it later with like Elden Ring, the masterpiece, is exactly what I'm experiencing now. This shit just fucking sucks when you have to go through the zone because the fast travel points and the rest stops are all so far away from each other. It's like you might as well just have one hub, one checkpoint, and then everything branches out from there because it fucking feels like it takes forever. Okay. Oh my god. The jumps are already starting to not come out. That's the boss. I don't think any of that damage matters. I mean, the damage he deals to me definitely matters, but I think he just heals up to full health by the next time you see him. Oh yeah. And then you get shit like this. It's like a fucking wait time every single time. There has to be a checkpoint. They're not that bad of game designers, right? Like, that's unforgivable. Unforgivable. But actually, like, what the fuck? Who thought the fucking 40-second bridge animation was required for every walk back of this? Like, okay, so this is... I think you can open that on the other side. Maybe now that we've opened it, it's possible that you could run through. Wait, what the fuck? Okay, that's actually glitched out. Motherfucker, I thought it was loading. That's on me. Now you see why I'm hoping there's a fucking checkpoint somewhere. Oh my god, and we didn't use... Checkpoint, please. Okay. Won't have to do that again. So, I think the shortcut was opened. The bridge thing is what I mainly want to skip. Yeah, okay, so yeah, that one lever right there. And you can't walk through there, so you need to go down one level. Okay. Okay, so now that we've opened up the top area, that we couldn't walk through there before, so that should help. Walking back to the boss. Motherfucker, dude. That hitbox is crazy. Fuck. Hold on. I watched as the attack went through that guy and didn't bounce. Fuck me, dude. Yep, there's nothing you can do. I pressed the button, the attack went through. You could actually see the attack go through, but it just doesn't do anything. It's the illusion of a choice. It looks like I attacked, because I did, but the game just decided I should die there. Damn. Damn it, bro. Sometimes you can parry them, and sometimes you cannot parry them. I'm just not even gonna fucking try anymore. It's not worth the feeling it out. No way his scream interrupted my fucking heal. Oh my god. Whoa. Fuck me, dude. That was a crazy place for the second one to come out. It was like, what was it? 4 enemies on screen. He summoned 2, and then the second guy joined, so... The, like, second boss. God damn. What game did you say you were going to play next? I have a couple of games. My family bought me games and wants me to play them. You know how it goes. So my brother bought me Claire Obscura, so I get to play what people think might be Game of the Year. I will be able to play all of the Game of the Year contenders and tell you which one I think actually deserves it. And also my younger brother asked me to play Fallout. So I was thinking maybe Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 4, because I played Fallout 1, like the original, and Fallout New Vegas technically takes place like in the same area of the map. Like part of it is in New Vegas. Or they reference the first 2 games in New Vegas. My character does not ever dash attack. I'm never risking it again. I'm never gonna risk the dash attack. This is where we finally learn that it's just not actually worth it to fucking run headfirst into the enemy. I think I'm gonna change up the streaming schedule a bit more. I could stream longer now. My grandma's had her surgery, everything went good. And it's better if I'm just sitting in the room next to her. So I've just been playing more games. Because, you know, if she needs me and the phone's not working or something or out of reach, you could just scream and I'll hear her. So. That hitbox is fucking crazy. Damn it, dude. Right into the spear. Fucking A, bro. Maybe it's easier with the upgrade. Let's just go beat the game, or what might be the end. Because there's some content I'm sure they want you to do after you get like the double jump. It's way easier to deal with two people throwing projectiles at you because you could just jump a second time when you notice. Double jump always makes it easier. I don't know where the fuck I'm going to get the double jump, so it might be the next big upgrade. So we're just gonna push forward. If we beat the game, then it's over and I'm just playing another game. The grind is not worth it. I feel bad saying that about Silksong, but they kind of made the game worse than the first one in some regards. It's still really fun. I'm like happy I got to play it, but the first game had so much content, but also better, not just control, because I feel bad saying that. It's not that it's different, it's the way that it's different is way more inconsistent than yeah, that sucks. Yeah, that sucks. We can't even get like the full upgrade right now. We have to die and get it again. So it would be best to go and like die somewhere real quick. I don't like when games put two bosses in one boss ring. It's not fun for me. I'm trying RN to get all the achievements for Outer Wilds. Ooh. Missing 3. I'm trying right now to get all achievements for Outer Wilds. That's fucking cool. One of them is frustratingly hard, bro. I feel ya. I don't... Look, I'm gonna be honest. I barely like it when my favorite game series puts two bosses in one boss ring. This game does not... It's not that good. Like, if Dark Souls does it, I'm like, okay, maybe. But this game... No. It's fucked up of me to say. It doesn't feel worth trying to get... like all of this stuff right now. Maybe if there were some updates to the controls. Holy fuck, this is loud as hell. I can hardly hear myself think. Turn it down for you guys as well. I feel like it is too difficult, like people have been saying, but not in the way that rewards you or feels rewarding. They just added a grind to the first game, like another currency to grind, and I don't like the wall jump. It's more of an RNG issue. That is a big thing. Risk of Rain has that problem as well, where like when I was going for the last couple of achievements, it was like, dude, come on. I have to just wait until it drops for me, or like I need to go for a certain build. This looks end of the game, right? Uh-oh. Whoa. Oh, you're the Silksong. The parry noise into the death. The game really does not fuck with me. That's why I think parrying is not worth it in this game. In the first game, when you would parry, it would feel rewarding because you'd almost get like the iframes and the perfect positioning from it. In this one, it's like I parried and I died. That's it. That's the full story, and it just fucking feels like garbage. Why would I care to parry anything if I run the risk of taking the damage? I would just fucking dodge, game. It sucks. One little design choice like that, where they think they're making it harder, but it's like, no, that was something that was like almost perfect about the first game. How did you fuck that up? There's a rest here. That's gonna help the walk back. See, they need more benches like that, like just outside of the boss room. Because they had him in the first game, and again, Dark Souls, they had him, they took him away, and they realized that fucking sucked, so they put him back with the graces. That's why there's like so many graces, it's like a joke about how many fucking graces there are. They're like, damn, bro. They really want you to survive, but it's just they know the biggest thing that games learned from the most early successful indie games was like quick iteration time. The more you can have people playing the game, the or like the quicker you get them back into the game, the more fun they'll have and the more they'll play. The quick iteration time, reiterating on the same thing, that you get to try it a different way, right? So it's not just reiterating, it's just quick iteration. Every time you try, cut down on the walk back. That's what they did. So in Dark Souls 2 they had a lot of walkbacks, but in Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring they realized like fuck the walk back, it's the run it back, you know, that people actually want. They want to fight the boss when they get there. They don't want to have to fucking run the whole level again. That was a thing that like early Nintendo games did to waste your time. Because they wanted you to like, they wanted to pad the timing. And it feels like they hired some people that didn't know good game design. Oh god. 3 hearts. Damn, that did 3 hearts. And they're going back to like old school Nintendo waste your time. It's like the classics weren't fun because you fucking had to grind 1,000 points of some bullshit. It was fun because the grind itself was rewarding with small things in between that actually like kept it going. This game asks you to just run back through the same fucking area and kill things over and over and over and over and over again, which is not fun, but it also just wasn't in the base, like it wasn't in the first game. It wasn't like that at all. They have you do a lot of runbacks in the first game, but I mean this one they have you do runbacks for everything. There's no reward of a shortcut, which makes it like a Dark Souls game. That's why I think the first one was compared to Dark Souls, but also so beloved, is that it's when the map loops back in on itself. Having a big map is cool and all, but the reason the other games are so amazing now, right, that like aren't just like Silksong or 2D game, It's like when you open a shortcut, you're like, oh, I'm back here? I didn't even realize that I'm coming back here. And the reward was the journey, right? The like there and back again. You didn't even they hid the back again, right? But this feels like holy fucking shit. I'm back here again, right? It's not as good in my opinion. I'm guessing that's phase 1. Oh. She's pulling the thing back up or pulling herself? Oh shit, is that gonna just happen from now on? The fuck? You building a map around me? What the fuck? Oh, you can move those. That's sick. Fuck. No! I didn't know there was a sideways swipe at the end there. Like, learning to fight that boss will be rewarding, right? And when I defeat it, that's the challenging part of the game. You didn't need to hide the really cool bosses behind these shitty grinds because it's like the believe in yourself. Alright, I'm gonna psychoanalyze the game designers real quick. I think after building or even joining the team of someone who built a new, like, classic, a modern classic, everyone loves Hollow Knight. They put the pressure on themselves to make something better or, like, not the same. And so they just kind of went back to the basics of people before them instead of trying to innovate and do something new. But they didn't, like, think of how it affected the game. And I think it affected the game negatively. They didn't believe in themselves. The content they thought was going to be easy. They wanted to pad the time. They started adding shitty grinds and long walkbacks. Because that's the only thing that makes sense. Your original formula was fantastic. The first game is fucking great. And this game, I feel like if they had more benches, would be amazing. But the walkback through the shitty enemies there's no reward for going through it, right? Because you're getting to a boss who's fucking doing way too much damage. It's not fun, the challenge, because it's barely worth the reward. Which sucks. I'm enjoying it, but also I can at least analyze. I think if it didn't have the grind, the game would still be fun as fuck. More fun, right? It's kind of like the time gate thing of World of Warcraft, right? Everyone was like, I am okay with the time gates in WoW, and I was like, no, but think of how fun it would be without the time gates, right? And then we got Legion Remix, and now it's like, oh my god, this is so much better without the time gates. It's like exactly that. It's like, yeah, it was fun. It was a good game. You didn't need to time gate it to, like, pad the timing. Maybe for, like, market quotas and bullshit like that, but... So what is safe there? So going to the far end? Far field? Phase 1 complete? Get out of here. believe in yourself. But no, actually, like the content is challenging enough and the game is fun. You didn't need to overtune the damage and add a fucking grind. That shit's just dumb. That's like the least fun part of these games. I think the success of the first game is about how fucking good it is without bullshit grinds like that. So it kind of sucks. To have a hard walk back on top of... Is this the Silksong? What if I jam? You can't right now. Fuck. Whoa, what? What the fuck? I'm spamming the button, I don't care. What is happening? Whoa, the hell is crazy. What the fuck? What the fuck just happened? Did we just become the Silk Song? Did we give everybody their will back? What the fuck just happened? Phase 2? Of the world? World Phase 2? Whoa. See, like, this is sick as fuck. It had nothing to do with a grind. This didn't need a grind. This is cool. What the fuck just happened, dude? Now I'm cocooned? Whoa. And bind her power. Okay, yeah, that was sick as fuck. Ending fantastic. So... I'm gonna look for who's responsible for the grind edition. I'm reporting them. As someone who knows how game design works, and I know the engine they use this on, and even the calls and stuff, like I've said this whole playthrough. Additional programming, testing, and QA, I'm blaming them a little bit. Character design, environmental dressing, they did fantastic. Game design, alright, here, we'll break it down. Now that we got to a credit scene, and we did the thing, I will give my honest review so far. Like I usually do with a game design mentality. I like the artwork for the credits, it's pretty sick. Audio, right? Music, and the sound effects, and the cool effects of like your current location and shit. Unity technical support. The Knights of You, I don't even know what they're for. Oh man. 2,000 Kickstarter backers. I wonder where it starts you after you beat the game. Like, what happens? Through the darkness and dangers, you persevered. Thank you for exploring the world of Hollow Knight Silksong. Let's meet again on the road ahead. I hope the next DLC is called Road Ahead. I've got, like, the worst completion time, I'm sure. Steel Soul mode. No reviving, death is permanent, the ultimate challenge. That's crazy. So, What? Oh wow, that's cool. The background changed. The graphics, like visuals, the two different art styles, right? You have this kind, and then like the character art, as well as the animation, which kind of goes with this. I think all of them are fantastic. I don't think you can take away a single point for graphics at all. That's a good thing. Graphics, fantastic. I love the art style. Audio, like I said, the songs, the sound effects, everything. It's kind of like the first game, but with more and different. Love it. Love the sound effects. So that gets a point. Can't take anything away from the music, right? It's just good. Now, this is where we get into more opinion stuff. We get the map design and enemy design and system design, right? And coding, the design of the game, not the actual code itself and the bugs, but just how it's all laid out and where you go. It has a lot from the first game, but I already feel like I've explained it enough. The grinding for the rosaries fucking sucks. Everything needs to drop like 100 more rosaries, like up in the castle when you're beating those really like the strong mini boss guys. That shit needs to stop. I thought games grew past that fucking Nintendo padding of the same grind, right? At least make it so you could go anywhere in the map for certain quests as well. But I did like the quest system. I like how it changed the world, and so the narrative was adjusted with the quests. That was cool. But and then of course it's like a Metroidvania. As you get powers, new parts of the map become available because you can access them with those powers, right? The bomb jumping, all that shit from Metroid. They have double jumps. I didn't even get the double jump. My whole playthrough. I did it without the fucking double jump. I kept seeing spoilers about a double jump cloak somewhere. I didn't even get it. So I guess you didn't need to get certain upgrades to progress through the game, which is also cool. I like alternative routes. But yeah, I didn't have the double jump. I was like saying like maybe I'll get the double jump after this boss, and it ended up being the final boss. So a little more direction would have been cool, like a hub where the bugs are at, where they tell you legacy, like if Bellheart NPCs told you, instead of just repeating the same fucking thing over and over again and never having any new dialogue, if occasionally the different bugs had references to artifacts and bindings you didn't get yet, like the double jump, the nail shooting thing, like if they told you where to go. I think I know where to get it now that I think about it. It would have been the music area where like I skipped over. I got the music power up after I went there, and then I couldn't find it again on the map. So I just didn't go back there. But I think that's where I would have got it, if I think about it. Because it's like the theme-wise, it would have been like a magical bug thing, and that entire area was like the tiny bugs you had to play the music for. So I think game design was pretty good. It is open, which is good. It's just lacking direction. If you just told people about the open map and where to go for just not even certain things, just like some of the bindings. Like you didn't need to tell anyone any of the power-ups, right? Like the extra red slot things, I didn't even like use all game really. So if they didn't tell you where to get those, that's fine. But some of like the most important power-ups, that'll help some of the newer players who suck at platforming, who got this game as like a gift, because they like the lore or something. That happened in my chat. They're like, I fucking suck at those games, but I like the lore from the YouTube videos, which gets us into the next point. The story and the story design, right? These are going to be like, this will be the final point now. We got sound, we got visuals, we got gameplay, like our systems. So now we get into the story. I think the story isn't just like a Elden Ring light or a blasphemous light right? Like it's kind of telling the same story about like this weird religious guilt and humanity and how they've created their own problems, right, with this. I think the way that it does it with the bugs, it shows you these cute little bugs, and then you go like, oh, I care about these little creatures, and then it shows you either what's wrong with them naturally, like, oh, that's kind of gross that you do that. Oh yeah, you're a bug. That's weird, but they're still your friends. Like you don't hurt them or anything. Or they show you the violent portion, right, where like I didn't fight him, but apparently the guy we set free somewhere in the map is a boss. So we set him free, we didn't have to fight him, but if you go looking hard enough, you could find him and kill him. So it's like stuff like that is kind of cool. Narrative and story-wise, it ties together because the story changes based on your playthrough, right? Like there are people who probably went and got the double jump as soon as you possibly could, and then got to explore the map with ease, as opposed to my dumbass that didn't find it my entire playthrough. And I had to fucking force my way through sections of the map by bouncing off enemies' heads because I didn't have a double jump, right? So it is kind of crazy. One of the last quests we could do requires the double jump. I'm actually glad that Orange Buster was asking about which games I'm going to play next. Because, like, I'm changing the whole stream setup now. The algorithm does not like this way of uploading. Now I know what to do. Now that I've tested it, I did like a year of good content, a year of, like, just doing whatever the fuck. Now I know what the algorithm wants and what they should do, and like on YouTube. So I might be shifting over to that now. More so to just expand the channel and community, because I know it has been fun playing WoW with people, making friends in WoW, and just like doing PvP content now, trying PvE content that I missed out on, doing Legion Remix. Trying RP, maybe we'll do some stuff like that, and trying out different games in between. Instead of just having like one game per stream, it's better to stream for like a long time and change the game. And I'm probably going to be doing that. So I kind of want to chop it up so that there are still like highlights on the channel. Kind of highlights. I don't know how to phrase it. Make like a playlist of cut up sections, but maybe unlist them so you can only watch them on the playlist. So that way it cleans up the YouTube channel a little bit. I think that might help the algorithm a little bit. But yeah, the game, out of all of those things, that kind of makes it what? So we got game design, story, sound, visuals, and then community, marketing, all that stuff. It was made ethically. It's not that large of a team. It's an indie game I can easily support without feeling bad or having to do mental gymnastics about it being a large corporation that you're supporting, right? I guess it's different when they have like a really large team, because you feel bad not supporting. Eventually they'll like fire a bunch of people. So playing the game and advocating for like keeping people on is always good, which is what I'm doing with WoW. But Silksong, I get a 4 out of 5. The gameplay, I have to take a point away from the grind, because it probably would have went a lot smoother if it were only the beast shells, because I was constantly maxed out with beast shells. I like never needed them except when I was trying out the items for fun, and then as soon as I ran out I stopped using the items, and then I got immediately back up to full shells because everything dropped a shell. So it was never like something I really needed, I was like, oh, I can't really use the items anymore. But whatever, they weren't making that much of a difference. It's actually shitty to use the items because it overlaps with some of your keybinds. So sometimes I would want to use the Silk Explosion, and then it would make me use like my healing item instead. It was like, okay, fuck it. I wouldn't even explain that that's what was happening. I'd just be like, okay, I guess I'm healing. And then right off on into the next situation of the fight. But there, like, if I jump for an opening of an attack and then I press a button and then something else happens, you can see why that kind of sucks. So, and then you have some keybinds, like even on the controller, that just don't do anything. So it's like they didn't even need to overlap them. They could have did a D-pad situation, but I don't know. I think they should have made the rosary grind lighter. There's like the three things I can see them doing. You take away rosaries entirely and just use bee shells, because then now you're weighing the people who don't use the items, like me, because they kind of suck, have a reason to spend them. And because it's capped, you might want to go out of your way to like increase the cap. But then you would have to nerf the cost of certain rosary items because they're like thousands of beads each, or like hundreds of beads each, almost 1,000 each. So it's, after you buy one item, you have to go back and grind. And then it doesn't matter how much you've saved up. At most, even without dying and saving up a fuck ton in the middle of the game, we got like 1,600 or some crazy number like that. We bought 2 things from the shop and then we were immediately broke. So the rosary grind is way too much. Shit just costs way too much. I think the rosaries, because you also need them for quests and all of these different things, need the one currency, but it's only there for that. So it's just a grind this currency to buy shit. It fucking sucks, honestly. I do not like the rosary grind. That it was so bad and so like, I don't know, so costly, right? Time consuming, and each one didn't feel like I was making meaningful progress, because as you get further in the game, you need to spend more. So it's not like, oh, I'll just save my beads for later in the game. It was like halfway through, I was like, I'll probably be able to afford one thing at the next shop. And then we got there, and I was like, I can't even afford one thing. I have 500 beads, everything's 900 beads. So I have to come back here. The cheapest thing being like 700 and 300 or some shit. I was like, okay, fuck this. So because of that, and then the things don't drop too many, right? You have to constantly go through and back through and back through and back through, and you're just running in fucking circles. It ruins the zone too, because it takes away the mysticism and the cool theming of that zone. You're kind of like, you feel like you're stuck now in this zone where the rosaries drop the best. You can't go back and explore. It's not worth it. Fuck the old zones. You're stuck in these new ones. If everything just stuck to shells and everything dropped a little bit more, right? Then it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go back and do the quests in that one zone that I've missed because it's worth it in terms of the exploration. The cost, getting more and more throughout the game, it makes it feel like the old zones fall by the wayside. They're not worth exploring. Things aren't going to drop as much. Things are too costly now to even warrant going back there. Maybe you get a quest there that gives you like a couple hundred rosaries, and then after you do the quest and the board is cleaned up, you're like, okay, well, fuck this entire area, right? It's not worth it. So, and that's kind of what I experienced. The rosary grind is what it keeps coming back to. The different ways you farm the rosaries. If you cut out the middleman and you take some of the items out of the shop and reward them through quests, I think that would be way fucking cooler. Like, that's what I was saying with World of Warcraft and class quests. If you earn it, it is way fucking cooler than earning coins to buy it, right? That's it. That's just a fact. It feels cooler to earn your class mount than to go buy a mount that's your class mount, because it feels like I went and did the quest and earned it in the story. Weird example, but it's exactly what I'm explaining here. It's shitty to earn 300 rosaries, because then you get to the next area and everything costs 500, and you're like, okay, that one quest that took me 30 minutes wasn't worth it. I could have just went and like farmed rosaries here in this next zone for like 5. So It's like reduce the cost of items and increase how much rosaries drop from the earlier enemies. And now it's more of an exploration, open world, really fun platforming game. The rosary grind isn't bad because you traveling through the area would reward you, right? Now we're getting into the game design. It's like if you... then it becomes like what had happened earlier on when I didn't have a lot of the zones explored. It was like, I don't know which is worth it. Fast traveling straight to the section or running through and killing enemies for the rosaries, right? Early on, you might make that decision, but later on, just fast travel because the enemies in the earlier zones don't drop shit. So it's like it's not worth it later on to not fast travel. You just want to fast travel. Halfway through the game becomes a fast travel spam game. You don't want to explore, it doesn't really matter. Even if you're finding secrets, they'll reward you shells, which you're probably maxed out on, so you don't need them. Because everything drops shells. Again, it keeps coming back to it. The only thing I'm complaining about really is the grind of the rosaries. The shells, it was too easy to grind. Everything dropped them, even in the zones that didn't drop rosaries. So, it's like losing meaning now. I'm saying the fucking word so much. It was fun. It was a good game. That would be the one way I changed it. Is if I were to be able to wave a wand and get rid of the game, I would make the earlier enemies drop a bit more rosaries, so maybe you save up a bit in that zone if you don't die after buying all of the stuff, and then it helps you in the next zone where the items are only a bit more costly because you saved the difference up. But when it doubles in price every time, you start at like maybe 80 rosaries, 100 rosaries at a cost, and then it's 1,000 by the end. Right? It keeps doubling and keeps doubling. That shit's just not fun. Especially because the enemies that you have to kill to drop the rosaries just don't... It's not worth it. You just run up and you spam the fucking silk explosion like twice. So... You're really just running into a room, killing 4 enemies, running out, resting at a bench, running back in, killing 4 enemies, running out. You didn't, at least in my first playthrough of the first game, it didn't feel like I had to do much of the grind or anything like that. Like, it kind of lined up to where I had the cost of the item and the material if I didn't die. And if I did die and lose some of the stuff, the journey and walk back, instead of the fast travel, paid for the item. So it's like, okay, I just need to walk there now instead of fast travel there. But I'll eventually have enough. Just walking instead of having to walk back and forth through the fucking zone like 9 times. That's my only problem with it. Is it's not even back and forth. It's like the Dark Souls 2 walk back and like Dark Souls 1 soul grind. It's weird. They took the shitty parts of Dark Souls and added it into this game. The long walk backs that they got rid of and the really early just coin grind cost thing. Those, I can't forgive those, so that takes away a point. So it's a 4 out of 5 for me. But maybe that's just me being biased. I do love Dark Souls. I feel like Night Rain addresses a lot of these issues because there isn't really a walk back unless you get kicked out of like a big dungeon and the rain is closing. But then you couldn't really go back in anyway. So maybe you'll run into the rain to pick up your stuff. Silksong. Yep. A Silksong instead of Silksong Situation. I've beaten the game. We just got the credit screen. So I give it a 4 out of 5. Maybe a 4.5 out of 5 because the bugs are pretty cute. And the memes are pretty solid. But I love the visual art style. I love the music. To recap, the game design is pretty good, except for the rosaries. I think the bosses are tough enough. And if the walkbacks weren't that long, the bosses would still be challenging to like face and worth the challenge to beat, to explore the rest of the zones that they hide, or, you know. I think like the game isn't poorly designed. It's just like one system in it needs a little bit more tuning. But I really like it. So you just beat the game. I just beat the game, and I'm giving my no spoilers review. I'm not talking about. I even talked about the story, but not specifics. Just how I liked it. They do environmental storytelling, which is cool. It is separate from the first game, so if you really, really are good at platformers and you don't want to play a whole game to establish this character, you can go right into this one. It is challenging. They skip a tutorial because they expect you. The Skong controversy is crazy. I don't even know what that is. This Silksong. Man, the only controversy right now that I feel is the rosary grind is controversial. My hot take is that the game is mid because of the rosary grind. It is a hot take. I love the game. I love the platforming. I think the challenge is fun. The bosses are really hard, and that's cool. I don't think the bosses need to be nerfed because I'm sure people have beaten them and are already in the challenge modes and stuff. It is literally just the rosary grind that is so atrocious. It's like each item is a whole grind. You can't go and grind and come back and buy out a shop later on in the game. It's just not fun. I like being able to save up enough coin to go back and buy everything at once in a store, and it isn't designed for that because they don't drop that many rosaries. It's bad. The mandatory grinding is a Zelda reference. Yeah, no, but that's the thing, is some of the upgrades, I think it's not like the grind needs to be removed entirely, because if they do remove rosaries, I think they should just be replaced with shells, which you'd still grind. It's just the cost of things. Like the early enemies drop like 10 or 5 rosaries, so you just fast travel over them. There's no point in exploring the earlier zones. So, if you want people to explore the map and go back and not just fast travel every second to the zones, the only time where I weighed if I should go through the fast travel or fight the enemies was early in the game when the costs weren't that drastic, when I didn't even know where to farm. But now, when I got to the end of the game, it was like, why would I ever leave that last room, right? And I'm killing the same 4 enemies over and over and over and over again. But they only drop like 30. So I still have to do like 100 fucking kills before I could buy 3 things from the last shop. So it was just a lot. Like when you put it into those kinds of numbers, it's like I'm not going to kill the same enemy fucking 100 times for 3 items. You're insane. Those are like the best dropping rosaries too. Like, the game would benefit from a system like Humanity or Insight. That would be cool. I'm glad you know Dark Souls enough to reference that. I agree. They have kind of a system with the grubs, but I wanted to not eat any of the grubs because they were like alive in my inventory, and I felt weird about eating something that was alive in my inventory. Normally they don't give you, like, everything else was a still image, and they gave me one thing that was just wriggling around. I'm like, that can just hang out in the bags. They even give you one as like, here's a child I present to you. Eat it. I'm like, nope, we're gonna save these children, you fucking lunatics. But it's like the opposite of the grubs. I think these are the grubs that you have to save in this game. But I think you're right. Like, the only thing kind of like it seemed like those bugs that were... And then that is where I think narrative... If you don't eat them, right? The, like, grubs in your inventory, and then they give you a secret ending... now that I know what it's called, like, the last achievement, my theory makes more sense. I didn't know, but if you collect all of those grubs and then become, like, that thing in the end, that's a different story, right? A secondary currency for... more important items, needing to spend money to get so many items is just boring. I agree 1,000%, and exactly what I was saying with, like, the quests earlier on. I was saying if they cut out the middleman, some of the rosary quests that you do that give you, like, 300 rosaries in, like, Bellheart or whatever, if those gave you new items, right? Some of the new, like, the throwing stars or shuriken or whatever the fuck, if they gave you just new items as a quest reward for people you help, it's like you should do the quest because they give you a quest, or you should save people because then they'll give you a quest that unlocks something, right? Rather than, why the fuck would I care about saving everyone? They're just gonna give me rosaries, right? Everyone just gives me rosaries. So you're right, it is kind of boring, but I think you're right. Instead of a secondary currency, yeah, cut down on the currencies altogether and allow the game to just naturally give you things as you play it. Right? If you want to make it an item that drops off an enemy, or is it at the end of a pathway that you pick up, that's perfect. But they had so many quests that I was like, oh cool, a quest. And then I hovered over it and it was like, here are some rosaries. And I was like, that'll pay for maybe a portion of the item I'm saving for right now. So it wasn't ever like so rewarding that I was like, oh my god, it's giving me rosaries, thank god. I think Bellheart was the only time at like the end of the game that I was like, oh finally, rosaries. And like, that's it. Even if you can find it naturally, it doesn't feel right for it to be obtained the same way as a rancid egg. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you go through the quest of Bellheart to save everyone, and then you go through the quest to save like the merchant bros, you unlock a new quest system, and that's fun. And then that like goes into another quest system later on, just even more grinding. Exactly. So it's like if you double up on the grind, so it's like if I'm doing this, I'm actually doing two things, right? I'm helping the quest, so I'm cleaning the board at Bellheart, and I'm unlocking something. I feel that that's better than I'm clearing the quests at Bellheart and they're just giving me rosaries now. It doesn't really matter. So it's like, I feel like that's an alternative, at least. If like one of those quests could have given me like a reward item. But because a lot of it gave the fucking rosaries, but not enough. The rosary grind is atrocious. It's officially lost all meaning, the words, but I'm glad I could talk with someone about the game, not here at the end. It was fun. GG's everyone. This will be the last stream like this, at least, of a numbered series, an end of an era with Silksong.